And the last thing I wanted to talk about was on Plurk, which is where all the good stuff happens. So if you're not on Plurk, you need to join. We had a couple people last night. Laura was already asleep at this point because she went to sleep at 7 o'clock last night because she's an old fuddy-duddy.
I fell asleep reading in bed. I was reading a Karen Chance book that I've read several times. It's one of my favorites, and I fell asleep.
So there were some people on Plurk, and I'm not going to call anybody's name out, but who were saying they really wish they had real-life knitting friends. And I guess I just wanted to tell the story of how Laura and I met, just so that you guys can get brave enough to go out to some knit night that you've never been to where you don't know anybody and just meet somebody. Because, I mean, that's 3 years ago, my friend Alicia had started knitting. And I had crocheted before. My mom used to crochet, so I knew how to do it, but it wasn't anything I was passionate about. I didn't own, a hook or yarn or anything. And my friend Alicia came over one day and she was knitting. She was knitting a scarf from yarn that she had bought from a local shop. And I was like, being competitive, I decided to learn to knit because I just wanted to be better. I wanted to be better than Alicia. And my goal is still to be better than everybody else. And if that makes me a bad person, I'm sorry. It's honesty time. I want to be, I'm in the Master Knitter program. That should be obvious. I want to be a better knitter. So I went to, of course, I did the Walmart and Hobby Lobby rounds and bought yarn that ultimately ended up being donated to somebody else because I never use it. But there was a Yahoo group for this shop in Hernando, which was where Laura lived at the time.
It was like Mississippi Knitters.
Yeah.
The shop and the group are no longer there.
So, and I joined the group, and I didn't know anybody, and I'm like, I'm super excited, I'm going to come to your next knit night, when is it? And I didn't have anything but acrylic needles and or acrylic yarn and Susan Bates needles. And
yeah. That's how people get started.
I walked in and didn't know a damn person. Nobody at all. And it was all these ladies that already knew each other sitting at this table, and they were eating and knitting. And so I just kind of plopped down and decided I was going to be friends with somebody, damn it. So after a couple of weeks, Laura and I kind of warmed up to each other and started hanging out, and that's it.
Yeah.
The rest is history.
There weren't like choirs of angels that the spotlight.
She didn't like light up, and I knew that she was the friend that I needed. But
in fact, if you had asked me when we met, I would have no clue.
Yeah, it was sometime around September or August or September of 2007, because I only know that because I signed up for Ravelry after the first time I talked to you.
Because I was like Ravelry, okay.
And I got onto Ravelry
I'm glad I talked
in September.
to you, because I would never have remembered that.
So.
It takes me like meeting someone 5 times to typically even remember their name, and I won't even say that I remember some people's names after 5 times.
Well, you're better than me, because there was a lot of ladies in our local guild and everything that I recognize their faces,
yeah.
but I'm awful with names too. So
I'm really bad with names.
I just wanted to encourage, anybody that's got a local group that's just a little nervous about it, go out there and do it. What's the worst that can happen?
No one talks to you,
and then
they
you go
shun
home.
you, and then you go home and you get over it.
I mean, and there are some shops, there's a shop that's still open in Memphis that they're not the friendliest group around, so it's not one that I would go to on a weekly basis for a knit night, but the one that we do go to is great, and there's lots of friendly people, so.
You gotta test the waters, and there's lots of Yahoo groups and Ravelry groups for different areas.
It's a lot easier to get to know people now than it was then, especially because of Ravelry.
Oh, yeah.
You can see them with their avatar, and you can get to know them through the boards and everything, so. Yep. But I'm grateful to each of y'all that we have in the group. We're up to 344 as of this morning. That's
crazy.
And
makes me feel popular.
I know, I want to be popular. That was our Wicked moment for the day. But that's really all that I've got. It's a short one. We're only chattered for 30 minutes because we have a timer.
Yeah, Leslie whipped that out today, and I was like, oh, okay.
So that's all that I've got next week. I'll be wearing a tiara, apparently.
Of course.
We'll have a review of the Blackthorn DPNs. We should have some more finished objects. I might have some finished spinning.
I'm not going to promise any finished objects for next week.
You should have some progress on your featherweight.
I hope so.
Or else Sarah, I just call her Sarah.
Jessica's
going to be kicking your behind.
Yeah, I know.
So.
Hopefully I will. One never knows. The first week of school is crazy.
That's true.
But anyway, join the Ravelry group. Check us out on Plurk as Lala and You Don't Call Me Less.
Lala Knits.
Lala Knits. Ooh, that's a good distinction.
If you're on iTunes, if you could take the time to give us a star rating and or a review, it helps pop up for other people that way. It helps them when they're searching for knitting for us to pop up.
Leave comments on the blog, which is www.thenitgirls.com. And we'll check y'all out later. Have a good one.
Bye,
Bye, y'all.